Well, it's not the best weather outside this Saturday afternoon in Hill. Well, it's not the best weather outside this Saturday afternoon in Hillsborough, North Carolina, but we're set inside for what should be an exciting matchup between the UNC Tar Heels and the ECU Pirates. Chris Lehman alongside John Johnson here at the Orange County Sportsplex. And John, this should be an exciting one. This is an ECU team coming in averaging over 6 goals a game, so they've got a lot of offensive firepower, and Will Douthit in the net should be be there to face a tough task today.
Yeah, I expect a physical game. We know that ECU has a lot of firepower, but they also have a reputation for physicality. So I think it's going to be important for our UNC team to get off to a good, smart physical start to match the physicality of ECU, but also to be smart and stay out of the penalty box.
That was going to be my exact point. It was something that head coach Jeff Volkman talked about with his team before this game. They don't want to take dumb penalties. They've had some issues with that throughout the course of the season that have put them in some precarious situations late in games when they go down a man. And this is a game where you have to keep your head level. And we're just about ready to get underway. ECU in the black moving left to right here in the first period, and the white will be UNC moving right to left.
I think it's going to be important tonight for UNC to capitalize on their power play opportunities. We know they have a really strong power play anchored by Daniel Jones, and I think if they can maybe capitalize on some sloppy play that gets ECU in the penalty box, we'll be off to a good start.
We're off and running, backhanded deep by Patrick Kramer of the Tar Heels, collected in the far corner by Chris DePerno. He'll shovel it up the boards, broken out only momentarily by the Pirates. Well done at the blue line. Ben Reese dispossesses, and the Tar Heels dump it back in. They can't get very far, and now ECU moves it down and into the Tar Heel end. It'll wrap back behind the net, giving chase for the Pirates. And then the centering pass cleared out and taken up by the Tar Heels. Getting it deep is Reese, and the UNC forward lines will change. That gives space to ECU to break out right through the middle. It's off the stick of Hess. Collected by the Pirates, though, Casuccio, and he's dispossessed, and a dump-in is up into the netting. That will stop play. Josh Carlson was the one who knocked that one out. It'll be a neutral zone face-off on top of this ECU blue line.
A pretty good start for UNC. We noticed them intercepting at least 2 passes by ECU, so really able to capitalize a little bit on that and keep tempo of play more down in this end.
And they'd really like to be aggressive on the forecheck. When they've been able to implement it well, they have put a lot of chances on net. Speaking of on net, that one flipped in by Richard right onto the netminder Emmett. Back out in front. One-timer is off the chest of Graham Emmett, who makes a couple of big saves there for the Pirates to keep this one scoreless.
Sloppy play by the Pirates there.
And it'll be turned over in neutral ice. Tar Heels with it again. Backhanded deep, a bouncer in on Emmett. He'll cover it up for a face-off. Well, that's exactly what UNC wants. They got it deep into this near corner, and they pinned it there, and it led to a good opportunity.
They did. It was a turnover by ECU. It resulted in a real good opportunity up close. The goalie, who is not particularly large, about 5'9", got big and was able to stop that shot.
Face-off in the far circle, offensive zone for the Tar Heels, immediately lifted up and out by Thomas Kiesler. And the Tar Heel defense will give chase. Back behind the net, Daniel Jones with speed. Finds a lane up the middle to a teammate, and it'll be moved along, galloping in for the Tar Heels is Beeson. Slap back behind the net, Jones on it for UNC. Up at the point, he'll lift it cross ice again. It's Beeson in the near corner, has it knocked loose, and it'll be pitchforked out by Kirilov of the Pirates. Well, most of the play so far, it's been quick, but the Tar Heels have controlled the pace of play here early, John.
You did. You notice on that rush, Daniel Jones really activated it using his speed. Nice pass that got them into the zone.
It'll be broken out by Alon Mizell. He's dispossessed just across the blue line. Here come the Tar Heels again. It's Reese stopping in the near corner. Drops it back. Slap pass into the corner for Kramer. He looks for a lane into the slot. It's not there. Back out to the blue line. He'll throw it off the boards and into the far corner. Reese there for the Tar Heels. Battling along with Kiesler again. Back to the point. Wrist shot doesn't get through the traffic, and it'll be knocked back to the blue line once again. Poked along and out. Here goes Seth Bunch for the Pirates. In transition, he gets in front, and a loose puck banged home and stopped by Douthit as he held strong on that far post with a big save to keep this one even still.
That was a great save. What you saw happen there is Coach Volkman will let his defenseman activate into the zone. The defenseman had actually come in, and you had a forward playing at point. Puck got tipped past him and resulted in a good opportunity for ECU.
So a face-off to the far right side of Douthit, controlled by the Tar Heels. Racing out with it for UNC is Reese. Centering pass over the stick of Braden Preby, a new addition to this Tar Heel team. First game last night against Duke, and he had a pair of points. Quick stretch pass, a chance for the Pirates, wristed well over top by Carter Casuccio, and they'll battle in the far corner. Scrum along the boards as it's slapped around behind Douthit and into the near corner where UNC will get possession. Ben Reese fighting for it. Drops it back for his defenseman Richard. Shoveled up the boards but not out as the Pirates hold strong on their offensive blue line. They'll force it into that near corner. Slapped right back out by Richard, and the Pirates a chance. Deflected shot gets over top of the net. And the Pirates controlling play. Their forecheck has been potent on this possession. Back behind the net, they battle for it. Loose on the near side, it'll be stuffed towards the goal. Douthit on the post, keeps it out, and now it's loose in the corner. Moved up the near boards and out. The Tar Heels escape, but it looks like we're going to get an icing call. So only a momentary reprieve. That was a very, very good forecheck from ECU, John.
That was probably their best 30 to 40 seconds on the ice so far. Very aggressive forecheck, really forced the UNC defense to collapse, and that sort of starts a bad cycle where you don't really have an outlet to get back out of the zone.
16:23 to go in the first period. Still looking for our first goal. Both teams have had a couple of golden chances, but both goaltenders have been up to the task. Here's another one for ECU. Poked out to the high slot. Now out to the point. A wrist shot is in. And it looked like it was deflected in front. The shot from the point came from Chris DePerno. And I'll wait to see the break of the pile for the Pirates. The deflection, it looks like, came from the stick of Andrew Kirilloff. So Kirilloff from DePerno at 16-13, and the Pirates have the lead.
Well, what you saw there was the ECU left defenseman was pretty open. He just was able to get a nice pass to him. Took a really pretty easy shot, but the deflection went in.
Looking for a quick response. The Tar Heels break forward off the neutral zone faceoff. They'll set up far point, and it trickles back behind the goal off of Emmett. Out in front, and it's poked wide again. A couple of great chances there for the Tar Heels. Still in control at the point. The wrist shot goes high and wide off the glass. Over on the far point, held strong. UNC centers it to the slot, stolen away, and room for Ian McClin to move out. He'll weave down the far boards. Around the defenseman, he sends it deep into the near corner. It'll be collected by Kirilloff and sent back in. Still, they scrum for it in that near corner. Worked out back behind the Tar Heel net. A hit on the far boards will get a penalty, and it will be an interference call here on ECU. And the Tar Heel did not seem too happy about that. I believe it was Zach Nodden who went over to have a word with the guilty party, Thomas Kiesler, who is a Raleigh native himself. Back close to home for this hockey game. He'll head to the box. 2 minutes for interference. First power play chance for the Tar Heels coming here. Now, this is an important one, John. It's still early in the game, but you get a great chance here to get back that goal.
That's right. Really, we're going to see UNC probably employ a 1-3-1 power play, so you're going to have one person working slightly low behind the net, one person up at the point, and then three people across the middle.
We'll have to wait to see them set it up as that puck is iced by Thomas Bruning, and the Tar Heels will have to break out. Up the far boards, controlled by Adamson, looking cross ice, his pass deflected, and UNC will have to regroup at the red line. Sent back out from the ECU blue line. They've done a great job of denying entry on this power play so far.
They did. You saw them stand them up at the blue line, basically using the blue line as an additional defender.
Tar Heels back out again, down the near boards. They come, sent out in front by Beeson, couldn't get it to the stick of Kramer, and it will trickle back behind the net, scooped up and swept all the way out by Schaefer, and down the ice once again. 1:15 left on the man advantage. Tar Heels breaking it up the ice once again. Stretch pass to the blue line on the near boards will be swept in by Beeson. Controlled on the far corner by Kramer. Trying to work his way behind the net, knocks a man down in McClin as they scrum for it. A pair of Tar Heels there. It's Adamson coming away with it for UNC. Looks to the near boards, Beeson. Bad angle shot off the glove of Emmett, and the rebound cleaned up at the defense by the Pirates. Still with it, UNC. Trying to make something out of this power play. Off the mask, the shot from Jones, and it'll be covered on the side of the net by Graham Emmett, who has done an excellent job on this power play. A couple of chances in close there.
He did, yeah. You saw initially the entry into the zone. You probably would have liked Beeson to carry that in just a little bit instead of dumping it in. The team wasn't quite set, but he did get a good opportunity. Got a shot on net with a follow-up shot later on in that sequence.
41 seconds left on the penalty to the Pirates. Thomas Kiesler for interference. Wrist shot off the face-off, catches the glass, pops back out in front. High slot, wrist shot is blocked, and the Tar Heels will control, working back behind the net. It's Kyle Oliveira, the Tar Heel captain, cycling, keeping it up top. Leaves it there for a teammate in Richard. To the near point, Beeson, swept in and controlled behind the net by Ben Reese. Reese fighting for it. Comes back away with it. He's got Regan there, but holds on to it. Behind the net, one-time pass out looking for Regan. He couldn't connect with it in the slot, and it's all the way down the ice.
It's the right idea. They had good traffic coming through the middle, just couldn't connect on that pass.
And that should do it as the penalty expires. Tar Heels 0 for 1 on the man advantage so far. They did get a couple of good opportunities late, but it was a pretty effective kill from the Pirates through the first minute and change on that man advantage. Forecheck on for the Tar Heels here as they try to maintain the zone. They'll control. Dropped back to Richard on the near point. A hit from behind, and we've got another penalty coming up on the Pirates as it's touched up. There's the whistle. This is going to be a hit from behind on ECU. 2 more minutes on the power play coming for the Tar Heels.
Good, and this is actually the type of start I think Coach Volkman would have hoped for. You get your power play out twice in the first 10 minutes of play. Kind of a poorly disciplined penalty on ECU's part. No need to hit the guy in the back there as he's close to the boards. Easy call for the refs.
And it'll be Caleb Downs in the sin bin for ECU. Patrick Kramer to take the face-off as we start another power play for your Tar Heels. One to the near boards for Beeson. Drop back to the point, and it'll be stolen away. A break chance coming for Kirilov. He's in all alone on Douthit, who comes out and swats it away. Heady play by the netminder, and a chance to move forward on an odd man rush for the Tar Heels. Straight up the middle. And a shot will be deflected up into the netting as Beeson tried to throw one on goal. He had Kramer and Adamson with him. But a gutsy play, but a smart one by Douthit there.
Well, you saw Douthit aggressively come out of the net. Gutsy play, obviously. He's facing a potential, breakaway. Well, it was a clear breakaway, actually, and very nice poke check.
So another offensive zone face-off for the Tar Heels. One, though, by ECU into the corner. Stolen away by Adamson, and UNC will set up the man advantage. Daniel Jones up top. Wrist shot deflected high over the glass. Bounces out in front, cleaned up, and sent up the boards. Glove down nicely, though, and kept in by Thomas, and it'll deflect and trickle just wide. Oh, man. Emmett looked behind him, and it thought it might trickle in. Still with the pressure, though, UNC. Circling around Beeson. High slot, he gets a one-touch pass back. And it'll be left there for Jones. Back to the point, Kramer. Across, wrist shot coming, blocked at the defense. And UNC will control in the far corner. Adamson to the far point, cross ice, Beeson. Backhands it deep, but right to a ECU defender. And Hudson Schaefer clears it all the way down.
Good series there. Kramer got a great shot from the point, almost trickled in, really, just inches away from a tying goal.
For the most part, a textbook power play from the Tar Heels as they've set up a couple good chances. 45 seconds still left on the man advantage. Breaking in, it's Mason Regan. He'll hold up in the near corner. Leaves it for a teammate and Josh Carlson. Carlson behind the net. Banks it up to the point, held there by Reese. He'll stop on the hashes and lose control. In the middle of the slot, cleared back out by the captain, Nick DiGiovanantonio. It's a mouthful for the captain of the Pirates. Setting up behind the net, Tar Heels break it out. Oliveira with space down the near wing. He'll bring it in himself. Into the corner, looking in front, and it trickles through the top of the crease. Nobody there to put it home. Loose in the far corner. Coming away with it, Oliveira again. He'll skate his way out of pressure. Wrist shot from the high slot, gloved by Emmett. And I'm not sure how he saw that. A nice job by the ECU netminder, as there's 4 seconds left on the power play.
Regan did a really nice job getting into his sight line, really making that a difficult save there. Oliveira earlier in the sequence had come in, looked for a centering pass. The ECU defenseman actually did a nice job lifting the stick of, I believe it was Regan in front of the net.
So 4 seconds left on the man advantage. Tar Heels going to have to watch the clearance here early on in this sequence as the puck trickles in, and it'll be covered up again by Emmett. That will finish off the power play, so no threat coming from the ECU penalty box now on a stretch play. And it's 5-on-5 hockey with 11:04 to go in the first period. And the far circle, it's won backwards by the Tar Heels, but straight out of the zone as Whelan couldn't keep it in. Whelan in control again for UNC. Up the far boards, doesn't connect with his target, and it'll be held in at the point by the Pirates. Forced down the far boards. Tar Heels come into possession once again. Forced up those boards, poked out to the center, and UNC clears it out. Gaining the red line and clearing it in for the Tar Heels is Nodden. Pressure being put on by Preby. Swept around into the near corner, controlled by Andrew Kirilov, who deflected in the only goal of the day so far. 1-0 Pirates about halfway through this first period. It'll be banked out of the zone off the near boards by Schaefer, but he only gets it to the red line. Sent right back to him. He'll swat it up the boards once again as they scrum for it in neutral ice. Controlled by Whelan. He'll swing it back into his own zone to create some space. Chasing it down, Beeson. He'll slap it out of the zone. And a lot of Pirates on the ice there. They're going to get away with a sloppy change that saw 6 men on the ice as they get it deep. Far corner, they'll fight for it. Rubbed out and sent up the boards by the UNC defense. And out into the neutral zone once again. To the near side, it's Ben Dam. He'll swing it deep. Douthit sets it on a tee behind the UNC cage. Moved up the near boards, and it does trickle over the stick of Dam and out. He'll be forced to retreat and then clear it back in once again. Whelan coming away with it for the Tar Heels. Up the near boards, and straight up the middle of the neutral zone. It'll be dumped in by Thomas, or Jesse Jacobs, pardon me, and they'll fight for it behind the net. Forced into the far corner. Jacobs there along with Adamson. It'll be knocked loose. Adamson backhands it up to the point. There's space for a shot. It'll be knocked down in front off the hand of the captain, DiGiovan Antonio, and into the near corner. Centering pass deflected back behind the net. ECU controls, waiting, throwing it off the boards, but not out. Richard holding strong on the near point. Backhands it in. Immediately swept up by Kromenhoek, who's hip checked to the ice, but he gets it out in a breakaway coming for the Pirates. In on goal. Shot is stopped by Douthit, and the rebound is cleared out and to the near boards. Now, Will Douthit has made a couple of big stops to keep the Tar Heels within one. They've got to do something to support their netminder. Thrown deep by Richard. And UNC will get a quick change. Kramer into pressure. To the near boards is Casuccio for the Pirates. He'll center it. A tripping call coming up as UNC keeps it in. Great forecheck for the Tar Heels in this first period, and they'll get another power play as Douthit heads to the bench. The pass to the middle is intercepted by Casuccio.
It was a really intense, uninterrupted sequence of play we had there. UNC has done a very nice job being very aggressive on its forecheck. It's generated 8 shots so far. Really has controlled tempo of the play, everything other than the score, practically. That said, the 2 breakaways that have come through have really just almost in some ways been a product of bad luck more than bad play.
So the trip will go on Nick DiGiovan Antonio for ECU, and the third power play underway. The puck loose under the pads of Emmett, but we'll get a quick whistle and another face-off for the Tar Heels. Well, they're doing just about everything right when it comes to the power play. We talked about the forecheck as well. They've just got to find a way to get one past Graham Emmett here.
They do. They've been using their points a lot. They've been open. They've been generating a lot of scoring chances that way.
Well, they'll drop it back to the point. Regan leaves it for Richard. He'll swing it around the boards and in behind the ECU cage. Collected there by the Tar Heels. Back around to the near side. Regan will send it to the point for Richard once again. Matt Richard to the far side. On the hashes, it's Oliveira. Throws one towards the net. In front, the backhander wide from Carlson. He'll look out in front. Up to the point. In the center of the zone, wristed in by Richard. Loose in front, it's poked wide. Oliveira forcing it out in front. In the slot, nobody gets a stick to it. Drop back to the near point again for Richard. He'll leave it on the near hashes. At the top of the circle now, Regan. Again for Richard on the far point. Back for Regan. He'll send a wrist shot on. Blocked in front by Kirilov, and they'll fight for it there in the high zone. Backhanded to the far boards where UNC will settle it down. Oliveira on the point. Tees one up, and it's wide on the near side of the net. Richard at the point, another chance. He'll send one towards goal. It catches the boards behind the net. Out in front, another one thrown on goal, and that one's deflected wide. On the near boards, Karoloff will get a backhand to it and get it out of the zone. The Pirates need a quick change. UNC moving up quickly again. Pass behind the intended target in Carlson, and the Pirates take it back over with 40 seconds left on the penalty to their captain.
You'd like to see the defenseman for UNC get that puck just on the goalie, get it on net instead of going wide. Two good
Pass up the middle. Here come the Tar Heels. Backhander on, and it's gloved down and covered by Graham Emmett. A great chance there for UNC, as there was a ton of space through the neutral zone there, and the pass sneaks through.
Beeson used his speed there. He got a good opportunity. He had a pretty good look. He went to his backhand, and once again, it was smothered by Emmett.
Face off, smack to the near boards, eventually controlled by ECU. It'll be Schaefer throwing it up and out on the near side of the ice. And back behind the net, Will Douthit will set it up for Daniel Jones. 13 seconds left on the man advantage as Jones carries it out to the near boards. It'll be raced forward. Nice little move by Kramer. He looks for a shot on goal. It's sticked wide by Emmett and into the far corner. Adamson battling with Thomas Kiesler for it. He gets it loose to Kramer out in front. They score. Beautiful play by the Tar Heels, and it's Beeson finishing the pass from Kramer, but that was a result of the forecheck there.
The forecheck you saw worked perfectly in the far corner there. Puck was kicked over to Kramer, who really got his head up, saw Beeson coming through the middle, and Beeson planted that top shelf home.
Well, not much there for Graham Emmett to do in net. He didn't have any time to get out to the top of his crease, so plenty of space for Beeson to finish that one. And we're tied at 1 with 6:05 to go in period number 1. DiGiovan Antonio up against Preby for UNC on the faceoff. ECU wins it. They'll bring it back into their own zone. Tyler Cromenhoek swings it out into the middle of the ice where UNC creates a logjam and sends it back. On the far side, controlled by UNC. High hit coming a little bit late there, but will play on. On the far boards, ECU in control. Clearance is swatted back in, and it'll be gloved and held by Emmett. Not a bad decision there from Jackson Thomas, just to throw that one at net.
Yeah, I think, you know, right now they're trying to just get plenty of shots on net. They're doing a good job. They're at about 15 shots for this period, so Emmett's been playing well, though.
Preby wins it forward, throws it towards the net, and a stick to it by Emmett. Still in control of the Tar Heels. Glove save made by Emmett. He can't keep it under control. Loose in the slot, and eventually swept out to the point by the Pirate defense. Wristed right back in. Taking the hit was Whelan to get that one towards goal. Preby's pass in the middle, kicked away by the defense, and another shot on goal stopped by Emmett. And they'll fight for it on the near boards. Bodies going down, will play on. Wrapping behind the net, Devin Mizell. Up the boards for Cromenhoek. He can't get to it. Kept in momentarily by Whelan. And Cromenhoek shovels it out into neutral ice. Dropping back the Tar Heels, looking for space. Thomas swings it deep. And UNC gets a change. Under 5 to go in this first period. Now, another thing that is important to this Tar Heel team in games like this one against ECU, and what should be another good one at PNC Arena on Monday against NC State, the first and last 5 minutes of each period are paramount to these teams in terms of momentum. You don't want to give up a goal in the final minutes of a period.
You certainly don't. You want to go into the locker room really with some momentum behind you and build off of that.
A chance here for the Tar Heels as they move in quickly. Blockered away, the shot from the far circle by Emmett. Beeson with it for the Tar Heels. He'll send it behind the net, works all the way around to the half wall on the far side, and it deflects out into the ECU bench off of Matt Richard.
One thing you'll see from Emmett, he hasn't done an exceptional job of what I would say smothering the puck with his body, but his directional control for the rebounds has been pretty good. So although a lot of pucks are bouncing off of them, you're not seeing too many bounce out in the front into what I would call a high probability scoring area.
If UNC continues to press the way they have since giving up that goal, they should be able to find another one, whether it be in this period or the next. Beeson on the forecheck, gets it out in front, and it's right in on Emmett. And a nice job by the goaltender there, because I don't think he was expecting that initially to get through, and it was the stick lift of Thomas Kiesler that allowed that one in on goal.
Yeah, Kiesler did a nice job there. I think it was Adamson right in front of the net, and the defenseman was completely marked up on him.
So an offensive zone faceoff. Regan to take it for the Tar Heels, but it's won by Justin Hess of ECU, back behind the net. Schaefer swings it around. Up the far boards, weaving it out is Seth Bunch, and he'll get it into the UNC zone. Quickly slapped back out by Jones, where ECU can take over. Loose puck in neutral ice, controlled by the Tar Heels. Looking to get it deep for Carlson was Jones, but I don't think the pass was there. And now Schaefer with it again for the Pirates. He's being hounded by the UNC forecheck. And they have made it very difficult for anything to connect through the neutral zone for ECU. We've got offside called as it was brought in late by Carter Casuccio. But that's the thing that stuck out to me is this forecheck has made it incredibly difficult.
They have, and you're also seeing some sound defensive play. So we talk about using the blue line as a defenseman. That means if you can actually, the puck has to be the first thing across the blue line as the puck carrier is the first guy coming forward. You saw Richard stand up the puck carrier basically, and another turnover resulted.
Tar Heels control off the faceoff. Kyle Oliveira backhands it behind his own net, stretching for it for UNC. At the defense, they clear it up the boards, kept in though, at least momentarily by the Pirates, forced out by Reese, and they'll fight for it on the near boards. Oliveira knocks a man down, and the puck is loose. UNC with it, and they'll go back and forth. A couple of hits laid over on that far side board. Swept in at the red line on the far side by Ben Dam. Stopped behind the net by Douthit, and UNC collects and looks to move out. But it'll be stopped up on the far point and shoveled back deep. Behind the net, it's Nodden. Pitchforked along the boards and swept back in by the ECU forecheck. Now the Pirates getting some pressure. Hit on the far boards, knocks the puck loose, and it's sent deep again at the defense by ECU. Tar Heels controlling behind their own net. Up the near side. It's Reese getting a touch to it, but he couldn't get it all the way out. Sent right back deep by ECU. Far boards, Preby dispossessed. Controlled by the Pirates. Centering pass blocked at the defense by UNC. Preby again in control. Dances through traffic, gets it out, and now an opportunity brewing for the Tar Heels. It's Ben Reese. Floats one in, and Kramer couldn't get a stick to that saucer pass as it was trickling out in front. Slapped up the far boards and out. ECU on the break. Devin Mizell forced off the puck nicely by Patrick Kramer. And Mizell gives a little slap to the shins of Kramer as he heads to the bench. UNC still in possession. Matt Richard all the way around the boards for Beeson. Backhanded out. And UNC stalled momentarily at their own blue line. Out to the red line. It'll be stopped up by DePerno. And ECU breaks back in. Down the far boards. Pass out in front. Deflected back to the far side. And in the far circle, it's controlled by DiGiovan Antonio. He has it knocked away, and it'll be moved forward by the Tar Heels. Sweeping pass to the middle from Richard is blocked, and now the pass to the middle stolen away by Kirilov. He'll come in on the break. Spinning pass back to the slot. A chance, and they score. Finished by Ian McClinn, but a beautiful play by Kirilov to find the open teammate.
So what you saw there was the defenseman Richard for UNC got caught up against the boards. He made a relatively weak pass back to the middle, hoping to connect with Whelan. Unfortunately, it was intercepted and put Whelan in an awkward situation of having to turn to come back towards his net and try to stop a 2-on-1, and we saw that result in an ECU goal.
So 2-1 ECU with 1 minute left in this period, and that's not the time for a goal to come if you're the Tar Heels. They'll look to even it up here in the final seconds of the period. Cross-ice pass will get the puck out of the zone for the Pirates. It's Justin Hess with speed around the defense. He's going to cut to the front of the net, and there's another. Well, hold on. I haven't seen an official signal from the referee. There was plenty of celebrating from the Pirates, and they're going to wave it off. And from all the way down on our end, it's tough to tell what exactly happened there.
I could not tell. Hess comes into the zone with a lot of speed. We saw him in warm-ups. He's got excellent hands. He used his body really to fend off the defenseman and made a nice play, but it was waved off, fortunately for UNC.
And the Tar Heels immediately forced the puck out of their defensive end, but only for a moment. The Pirates looking for another shot blocked from the high slot, and UNC will get it up and out. Sent right back by Schaefer, and a quick whistle. It's a hand pass on the Pirates with 25 seconds remaining in the period. This faceoff will be just outside of the ECU zone.
Well, Chris, as we were talking about, we really wanted to see UNC go into the half with some momentum, and it's almost been the exact opposite. It's been a 2 or 3 minute span that's really been dominated by ECU.
And outside of the first couple of minutes of this period and the last few, as you just alluded to, this game has been controlled mostly by UNC. They'll win the faceoff forward. Kramer backhands one in on net. I think he wanted a tip there from Preby, but he couldn't get a stick to it. So with 19 seconds to go, it'll be an offensive zone faceoff.
Yeah, UNC has dominated much of this game statistically, 20 shots to 7. You know, everything other than the scoreboard, they've gotten sloppy. That's what caused the second goal, errant pass.
Kramer, Reese, Preby, the forward line out there for the Tar Heels. Kramer wins the faceoff to Reese on the near boards. He'll spin and down into the corner for Kramer, centering pass, nobody there to put it home, and it's sent out into neutral ice. Oliveira sends it back deep for UNC. 4 seconds to go in the period, and this faceoff's going to go all the way down. There was a delayed offside on UNC that was ignored by Braden Preby. And so with 2.4 seconds left in the period, maybe a chance for a quick shot here for the Pirates.
Yeah, again, you know, delayed offside call is one where, you know, really just as a forward you have to pay attention to what the ref is doing. So it's unfortunate for UNC, and it's going to result in possibly a scoring opportunity here for the Pirates.
Tied up nicely off the faceoff by UNC and cleared out. That will finish off the first period. A couple of exchanges after that faceoff down in the UNC end, but both teams will head to their respective locker rooms, and it was a goal late for the Pirates with just over a minute to play in the period. That is the difference. ECU 2, UNC 1 after 1 here at the Orange County Sportsplex.
I'm Mason Regan. I'm a junior on the team this year. Check out our new website, unchockey.com. We have our team schedule, roster. We have a team store set up too, and we're a 501c company, so all donations are tax deductible. Come out and see us play sometime.
Tar Heel Newsbeat reports on the local stories in our town. Everything from sushi and BLTs to the makers and volunteers who are investing in making our town a better place to live. You'll find Tar Heel Newsbeat in the streaming channels section of your Roku.
News and weather for the untethered.
From the reserves of Topo Organic Distillery in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, comes 8 Oak Whiskey, aged with the heads already removed on 8 different chars of American and French oak. Topo's 8 Oak Whiskey, limited reserves at all ABC stores.
Welcome back to the Orange County Sportsplex as your UNC Tar Heels take on the ECU Pirates. Chris Lehman now alongside assistant coach Tim Bukowski of the Tar Heels. And coach, it wasn't the result in terms of the score that you were looking for after 20 minutes, but there were a lot of positives, particularly that forecheck for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the guys are doing real well with that forecheck. They're getting turnovers in there. They're getting chances off the turnovers. They're coming at it with energy and looking around, making sure that find out where the open spaces on the ice are, and they're getting to them.
Well, and even though you haven't scored 0 for 3 on the power play, there have been a lot of good movement from the power play, and they've controlled the puck well in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key, controlling the puck, getting some nice looks. We had some good shots. Their goalie's done some great jobs of deflecting the shots into spaces on the ice that our guys aren't at. But we are controlling the puck. That's nice to see. So we'll see. If we keep pounding the puck, we can get a couple more next period.
Well, and one thing that's been noticeable with this ECU team is how fast they are. They get out quick in transition, and they've created some havoc that way. How do you counteract that in the second?
Well, one thing is to limit our turnovers. We turned over the puck, I think, twice at their blue line, and they came back quick at us. So if we can get the puck in deep, prevent their possession of the puck that way with our forecheck, then I think we'll be in better shape this period.
All right, Coach, thanks for taking a quick minute to talk to me, and good luck in the second.
Thank you.
All right, that's Tim Bukowski of the Tar Heels. I'll be right back with John Johnson as we break down the first and look to the second here at the Orange County Sportsplex. It's 2-1 ECU after 20 minutes. Welcome back to the Orange County Sportsplex. Chris Lehman alongside John Johnson at the first intermission. ECU leading UNC 2-1, and even though the scoreboard's not in their favor, we talked about it with assistant coach Tim Bukowski. The team does look good, and in particular, you mentioned they've more than doubled up the Pirates in shots.
Sure. So we saw a very aggressive forecheck. We saw 3 power play opportunities for UNC. They generated 20 shots overall for the period, many of which came on the power play. You'd like to see on the power play, they've getting a lot of looks from the point. We did see the defenseman miss the net a couple times. I think it's important to get low shots onto this goalie and perhaps get a rebound that kicks out to the front. As Coach talked about, this goalie does a nice job of directionally moving pucks away from the net into sort of open spaces that are low probability areas to score. On the opposite end, if we can just eliminate some of the turnovers that we saw that resulted in ECU being able to capitalize on their speed, which is probably their main asset, we should see this game go in UNC's favor at that point.
Well, and we talked plenty about the forecheck, but not quite as much about what that has generated. And you mentioned it a bit there with the low chances in tight on the net, but they're not going home. How do you fix that?
Well, I think, first of all, mentally they have to overcome the fact that their two top scorers are not here today. So Gelatley and Friedman are out. That's 20 goals of production, so other people have to step up. And that means you're going to have to maybe get some more dirty goals, screen the goalie a bit more on the power play, get pucks actually just shots to the net, as opposed to maybe your more fancy highlight reel goals that would go top shelf that are tending to miss. So they've gotten a lot of shots, but we need to get second chance opportunities in front of the net and really obscure the goalie's ability to see the puck.
All right, well, we heard Coach talk a little bit about cleaning up those turnovers. In particular, we saw that lead to that second goal for ECU late in the period. What else are you looking for as we head into the second for UNC to adjust?
So I think, in the second period, you'd like to see more consistent back check. So if your defensemen maybe are struggling and there's been some turnovers, such as we saw with the second goal, then you really want your center and your forwards coming back, helping potentially to clog up the neutral zone even more and to really start to neutralize that speed that ECU can capitalize on. Because I think we see UNC as a higher skilled team, but ECU has speed to counteract that, and one way to counteract speed is with a good back check.
All right, well, the Zamboni just finishing up as we're less than 5 minutes away from puck drop to start the second period. ECU and UNC coming up when we come back. It's Pirates 2, Tar Heels 1. Welcome back to the Orange County Sportsplex. 20 minutes back up on the clock as we get ready to start period number 2 between the UNC Tar Heels and the East Carolina Pirates. It was a late goal for ECU that is the difference maker right now with just over a minute left in the period, and it is 2-1 Pirates. Chris Lehman alongside John Johnson as we get set for this second period. And as we've talked about, this wasn't really a terrible period for the Tar Heels. There were just a couple of mistakes that allowed ECU just enough space to score those 2 goals.
That's right. ECU really did not have much consistent time in the zone, unlike UNC, which spent large portions of shifts in the ECU zone. What really hurt UNC were just some sloppy turnovers where ECU could capitalize on its speed.
It looks like it'll be for the Tar Heels, Preby, Kramer, and Reese, the forward line, with Matt Richard and Kyle Oliveira on the back line at the defense, and of course Will Douthit still in net. And Douthit, an interesting story, you may have seen it on Twitter and on social media, but had his car stolen the weekend of the Stephen Russell Memorial Tournament and needed a GoFundMe page that raised over $5,000. His equipment was in the car and stolen. As we get a quick opportunity for the Tar Heels, denied on the near post by Emmett, and it'll be cleared back out. But the GoFundMe page raised over $5,000 and allowed UNC to get some new equipment for their netminder. Charging the net, it'll be knocked off the moorings and a pile up on top of Will Douthit. But he did keep the puck out. There's that speed from ECU going to work.
You saw that exactly. ECU forward came in. I believe that was Hass, and was able to use his speed, work on the defenseman, get a quality opportunity, and but for the net coming off, that's a possible goal. But to go back to your story, it was really nice to see that the UNC community come together and raise an extraordinary amount of money for the team and for Will to get his gear back.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, if it's a skater, it's still a pretty big investment, but goaltending equipment is a little bit pricier.
Goaltending's at a whole different level. The helmet itself can cost more than a skater's entire package.
The face-off controlled initially by ECU. They'll fork it behind the Tar Heel net where they scrum for it 3-on-2 in favor of the Pirates down there, but it's the Tar Heels coming away with it. Patrick Kramer up the far boards. Reese lifted out looking for Preby, swatted back at the red line by Chris DiPerno, and the Pirates get it deep. DiGiovanni Antonio pressuring Reese up the far boards. He'll deny the outlet, but Kramer scoops up the loose puck, and he'll be on his horse and out of the zone. Lifted deep UNC gets a quick change as it gets back behind the ECU net.
UNC is going to want to be smart on its changes because it's on the long side of the ice right now.
And that is always something to keep an eye on, are those line changes, which can be costly in this second period. Huge hit up high, and that's going to get a penalty as down on the ice. As I'm not sure which Tar Heel, I can't quite see the number. It looks to be Mason Regan, but that was an unnecessary and dangerous hit.
It was. It's the type of hit you want to see taken out of the game. You know, those are the types of hits that at the pro level can end somebody's career. At the collegiate level, they're just as bad. You know, the UNC, I think the ECU defenseman had an opportunity to make a fair legal check, which would require playing the body, and instead raised his arms and hit him square in the head. Really uncalled for.
In the box for ECU, Thomas Kiesler. That'll be his second infraction. And still down is Regan. But we haven't seen the penalty go up on the board yet. But since no one has left the ice, at least at this moment, it looks like it'll only be a minor penalty. And Regan up to his feet. And he's going to get some help. He wanted to skate by himself, but he's going to get a little bit of help as he heads to the Tar Heel bench.
That's good to see him up on his own power, coming to the bench. I'm sure he'll be checked out by the staff at that point and possibly walk through the standard concussion protocol.
And he's a big personality on that bench. Is not, as we mentioned, not the top producer, the two top producers for the Tar Heels, not in the lineup today, but he's a leader on that team, and having him out, even if it's just for this game, it will definitely hurt the Tar Heels. And there's plenty of discussion going on at the ECU bench, and it looks like they are going to eject the guilty party. And I'm not sure, he looks upset with it. It's a pretty clear-cut issue. A high hit to the head, and it'll be Kiesler coming off the ice, and his night will be over. This is a huge opportunity for the Tar Heels. 5-minute major up on the board, and there's no ending that. It's score, score, score if you're the Tar Heels.
So this is a good result for UNC, as much as you can get a good result out of a relatively cheap shot there. So they're going to get 5 minutes of uninterrupted power play time. They can score as many times as they want. I think it's the right call to remove them from the game. I mean, this is club level hockey, and those types of hits we just can't have.
Well, they'll sort everything out over in front of the scorer's table over there, but the 5 minutes is up. 18:38 to go in this second period. For those of you who might just be tuning in, we've got a short stoppage here as Mason Regan was hit high by number 20, Thomas Kiesler of ECU. Kiesler has been ejected, a 5-minute major, and of course the 10-minute misconduct to go along with that. And it looks like his penalty will be served by number 4, Caleb Downs. And UNC with an offensive zone faceoff. Kramer to take it for the Tar Heels in that far circle. One to the corner, drop back to the point. On the far side, Jesse Jacobs goes cross ice. Daniel Jones, top of the circle. His shot blocked by a stick and cleared out as the Pirates get it deep. Well, that's one thing that ECU has done an excellent job of on pretty much every penalty kill that they've had, is they've gotten control early and gotten it out to run some time.
Yep.
Adamson back the other way. He'll throw one on goal. Patted into the corner by Emmett. Shoved up the boards, and it will deflect out of the zone. And UNC will chase again. 30 seconds already gone on the 5-minute major.
So we've seen ECU play a pretty tight box on his penalty kill. It's been out there a lot. It's been successful. Stopped all 3 of the power plays so far.
Nifty little move there from Kramer, and he sends it all the way down the ice. Initially it looked like it'd be an icing call, but it's waved off, and ECU will clear it out anyhow. Douthit stops it up behind the UNC net. Backhanded around the near boards, coming to it, Kramer banks it up and out, picked up by Beeson at the blue line, and he'll race forward. Looking for a shot on net, and it'll be gloved and held by Graham Emmett for another faceoff.
Beeson using really good speed to come into the zone there. Got a nice shot. Emmett makes a really smart play, actually plays that puck and then gets freezes it. Really allows his team to get back, set back up, because UNC had a lot of speed coming into the zone there.
So the faceoff will be to the right side in the far circle, as it looks like Ben Reese will take this draw. for the Tar Heels up against DiGiovan Antonio. Reese wins it, drop back to the point again, Matt Richard. He'll work to the middle of the ice, throws it on net, off the pad of Emmett, and the rebound cleaned up by the Pirate defense once again. And that's one thing we've talked about, a lot of rebounds for Emmett tonight, but if he hasn't put it in a good area, it's a huge hit in neutral ice with nothing coming of it. That could have been interference on the Tar Heels. They'll get lucky on that call as play continues. Sloppy work through the neutral zone will give a chance here to ECU. Poking it forward was Ben Kelman, but he couldn't control it. And UNC moves it back, thrown in by Oliveira. Wrapped around the boards to the near side. It'll be pinned there on the hashes by Regan. Good to see him back on the ice. From the center point, it'll be slapped in towards the net. Loose, they'll fight for it, and eventually we get a whistle as Graham Emmett falls on it. But plenty of good chances there.
So we've had about 2 minutes of power play time. We really haven't seen this power play be as crisp as the previous three. So we haven't seen them really get into the zone and get set up. So they've been dumping it in. So maybe, you might want to mix it up, maybe carry the puck into the zone with your speed, wait for your teammates to get set up, and then start moving the puck around.
Braden Preby to take the draw this time for the Tar Heels. And they're going to send both parties out and replace them. It'll be McClin winning the faceoff for ECU, and they'll slap it back down the ice once again. And it has been a perfectly executed kill from ECU for the most part here, as we have almost run through half of it. 16.5 minutes left in this second period, 2:45 left on the major penalty to Thomas Kiesler, ejected for his high hit on Mason Regan. Up the near boards goes Jackson Thomas. He'll gain the red line and send it deep. Stopped on the near side of the net by Emmett. Stolen away by Nodden. Looking out in front, he can't get the puck there. And instead it's sent around the boards to the far point for Daniel Jones. He's got time and space. Looking it over. Still holding. Tried to center. It's deflected back behind the net. Preby will be rubbed out. And the puck forked along the boards to the near side. Swept back in by the Tar Heel
now
defense.
They're going to want to be careful here. Hess has a lot of speed. We've seen him use it earlier.
He gets out in transition. Well played by Jones with the stick to deny that opportunity. But the Pirates do get a nice change on a long penalty kill there. Moved back forward, Nodden again. Weaving through the middle of the ice. He's got a chance, and his shot will be deflected high and into the netting behind the net. And a face-off coming up in the offensive zone once again.
So I thought at some point we'd see Hess out here. He has a lot of speed, so if you want to give your standard penalty killers a little bit of a rest, you put a little more of an offensive threat out there. On the other hand, McClin for ECU has been out there anchoring the penalty kill, and he's done a very nice job, pretty aggressively pressuring the puck handlers as they've come up the ice for UNC.
UNC in control. They'll look to set up the power play now. Beeson far corner. Bouncing puck up to the blue line for Jesse Jacobs. Backhanded back to Beeson. He'll charge in. Shot blocked at the low circle on the far side. Cleared all the way down by ECU once again. Well, one thing they have done really well, ECU, is they do not mess around with the puck in their own zone on the penalty kill.
They don't. It's one touch and it's out of the zone.
Stretch pass misses everybody. Intended for Beeson on the near side. That'll go for an icing and a free clearance and some time to kill for ECU with just over a minute left on that penalty. If you're UNC, you really can't afford to go that full 5 minutes without putting one in the back of the net.
You're exactly right here. We need to capitalize.
One to the far boards, controlled by UNC and advanced out. Cross-ice pass will be chased down by Chris Adamson in the near corner. He takes a hit to force it back behind the net, but the Pirates are there to sweep it up the boards, held in by Jacobs. Down to the hash marks where it's controlled by Beeson. He'll look things over as the Tar Heels set up the power play. Now Kramer swept on goal, loose in front. The rebound tipped wide by Adamson, backhanded back out towards the front of the net, denied by the Pirate defense, and sent up the boards, kept on the far point by Jacobs. Down to Beeson in that far corner. He'll dust it off. Back behind the net, Kramer sent out in front, deflected off the stick of the netminder, and it'll be deflected wide on a chance on the far side of the net. I believe it was Beeson who got a touch to the shot from Jacobs.
Yeah, Beeson was sitting there on the far post, really had a quality opportunity there. I don't think he connected clearly on that pass or solidly, and as a result didn't go in. But it's a good puck movement there, right idea, getting that puck over to him.
14:15 left in period number 2. 37 seconds left on the 5-minute major. Tar Heels still goalless on this man-up situation. Behind the net, they'll scrum for it. It's forked loose where the Pirates take over, and it'll be cleared off the stick of a Tar Heel defender and down the ice as Oliveira tracks it down. That defender, Richard, gets the pass from Oliveira. Swept up from behind was Regan. They'll play on as it's sent cross ice to the near side for Richard. And he'll be dispossessed with 9 seconds left on the man advantage. ECU sends it in front. Good look there from Ben Kelman, but he couldn't connect with his teammate in front. Breaking it out, Matt Richard. He's got speed down the near wing. Into the corner, he looks out in front, has a man in a high slot. The wrist shot is deflected wide. Oliveira with a great opportunity there, and we're going to get another penalty on the Pirates. This is going to be interference, I believe, on a Pirate defender, and I believe that'll be Tyler Cromenhoek. If you're UNC, it becomes all about the power play because there's not been much discipline on that ECU side.
No, we talked at the beginning of the game that we expected ECU to be physical. We hoped that UNC would be able to be disciplined and physical at the same time and capitalize on their power play opportunities. But so far, we've had 11 minutes of power play and 0 goals. So, hopefully, with this next power play coming up, we can get one past the net.
And one thing that is noticeable about this ECU team is they are a big team. They are a physically big team, and so those passing lanes are not as big on the power play, I think, as UNC is used to seeing.
Yeah, and I think, Chris, it's a great point. I was noticing that also you see it in the penalty kill that usually, they play a 1-3-1 and there's a forward down low. That forward oftentimes has a fair amount of range, but he's getting a body on him often from an ECU defender, and the ECU defender tends to be big, and so that makes your life a lot tougher. You have to be crisper on your puck movement when you're facing bigger players like that.
And I'm not sure what the discussion is now, because it seemed like a pretty clear-cut penalty. The hit was away from the puck as it was moving away from where the hit occurred. I don't know who the ECU player is. I can't see the number in the box, but he is not very happy about the call, and it certainly looked like the ECU coaching staff wanted an explanation for the call. But it should be a 2-minute minor for interference on the Pirates, and another 2-minute man advantage for the Tar Heels. 13:26 to go in the second, and they'll get set up for another power play.
I think they might have been talking about whether the penalty happened before the last penalty lapsed, in which case you would have a 5-on-3 to start, but it looks like there's 4 people out on the ice for ECU. So,
offensive zone face-off. Drawn back into the far corner and cleared out by the Pirates. Once again, textbook clearance from ECU on the penalty kill. And certainly the way that they've played in this game, you'd think they've probably got a lot of practice killing off penalties,
right,
which helps certainly with the way they've been able to execute.
We have definitely seen a lot of McGlynn for ECU out there killing penalties today.
Tar Heels in control in the near corner. Worked back behind the net, sent out in front, and nobody there but the Pirates, and ECU clears it deep once again. And this has been the biggest issue. In the first period, UNC was able to get into the zone and set up and get some chances. They've really struggled just to control in the offensive zone. Now a potential chance for ECU. Douthit comes out to play it. A fans on the pass around the back of the net, and he'll have to race back into position as UNC takes back over.
Well, what you're seeing for ECU is a pretty aggressive forecheck on the penalty kill. They're sending one forward into the zone. They're keeping one in the center part of the ice, and they're keeping both defensemen right at their blue line. So that requires you to either carry or make very crisp passes, neither of which UNC is doing at the moment.
Kirilloff wins the race to it, sends it in front. The backhand shot goes just wide off the stick of Ian McClin. And ECU a little bit lazy on that change on the power play, and that led to a great chance for ECU. Matt Richard moving forward. He'll slap the puck down the far boards, or near boards, I should say. Reese comes away with it out of the scrum. Sent in front, deflected just wide by Regan. He'll swat it back out into the slot, and it hops through the zone and out. And UNC will have to regroup. ECU has control of the puck. They'll possess in their own end before sending it cross ice and banking it down the ice. Richard picks it up for UNC. Looking across to the far side for Carlson, who couldn't reach it. And the Pirates take back control. Swung around the boards, held in at the near point. Richard throws one towards the net. It'll be loose in front, and it's eventually covered up by Graham Emmett. And a little bit of extracurriculars after the play comes to a close. But it will be another face-off in the offensive zone for UNC. And the penalty has expired.
So it's been an interesting period. We've had 7 minutes of power play time for UNC, but really not a lot of shots generated off of those power play. We haven't been able to get the power play set up. UNC has struggled really with its entrance into the zone, and we've seen the ECU penalty kill get more and more confident, and even generated a couple good offensive scoring chances for them.
And one thing that I'm starting to notice as well is, for the most part, UNC has done a very good job of staying disciplined, not retaliating or responding to the antics from ECU. You're seeing a little bit more of a response, I think, as they get more and more frustrated without being able to put one past Emmett. Preeby to take the face-off for UNC. Won it initially, but it'll be controlled by ECU, and they'll move quickly through the neutral zone. Down the near wing, wrist shot just wide of the far post, off the stick of Ben Kelman, and it wraps all the way around the boards and out. Back at their own blue line, Pirates in control. Van Antonio furthers it into the near corner. Back behind the net, Pirates control, deflect out in front, and the shot is tipped up over the net. Another good chance for the Pirates, and this puck will be lifted up and into the netting for a face-off in the UNC zone with 10:54 to go in the period. And now that we're back to even strength, the Pirates getting a little more aggressive.
Well, we saw the Pirates use their speed. They had a 3-on-1 coming into the zone. It was probably their first 3-on rush of the whole game. The puck shooter went wide with the puck, wasn't able to capitalize.
And ECU controls off the face-off. Hess, no-look pass, top of the slot, one-timer, deflected in front, still loose in the slot, and it'll eventually be knocked out to the blue line, and a big hit coming on Preeby. He spun off of it, fortunately, but he couldn't control the puck. Back behind the net, UNC at the defense, spun out by Thomas, but only to the red line. Cleared back in by the ECU defense. Held behind the net, Jake Whelan. Pressured by Kirilov, he'll shrug off that stick check and take it down the near wing. Slowing up in the corner, backhands it back out to the point. Wrist shot coming, deflected towards the goal, but just wide. Plenty of bodies in front for the Tar Heels. Soft pass stolen away by the Pirates and cleared out into the neutral zone. Whelan stops it up at the red line. He'll lift it. That's blocked, though, by Hess and dumped deep. Kirilov coming away with it on the far sideboards for ECU. Steps away from a check in the slot. Wrist shot hits his man in front. Good traffic from McClin, but a little too good as he blocked that one. UNC moving it forward. Back behind the Pirate net. It'll be controlled by the Tar Heels. Backhand pass in front. Nobody in the slot to get it. And it'll be picked up by Hess. Hess gaining speed down the near wing. He furthers it out, takes a hit, and we've got a collision over on the near boards, and neither team taking kindly to whatever it was that happened.
Well, Hess and Beeson appear to have gotten tangled up. I'm not sure who hit whom. I'm assuming that it was a hit by UNC on Hess as he was coming up the boards with speed. We'll see what the referees sort out here.
And Beeson heading to the penalty box for the Tar Heels. And it looks like there will be one on the ECU side as well. It'll be number 22, Chris DiPerno, in the box. And those are those penalties, if you're ECU, you don't want to take that, because it was going to be, I believe, a power play for the Pirates initially until that response from DiPerno as he came in late after the play had ended.
You're exactly right. I think, for ECU, obviously, they have the lead, but they're not getting as many quality opportunities, so the ability to get on a power play would be pretty critical for them. Of course, you're also seeing when Hess is on the ice, he's one of the fastest skaters you'll see on the ice today. He's a guy that clearly wants to be carrying that puck up ice. He's not going to be very defensively sound in his zone because he's going to be constantly trying to creep out of his zone to set up an offensive chance. So if you're UNC, you're going to have to capitalize on that. It means you got to get pucks in deep, get control, and maybe play off the fact that you have a forward for ECU that's not playing as sound defense as he might be because he's looking to create offensive opportunities. On the flip side, if you're the UNC defense, you have to know every shift when Hess is out on the ice because that's a playmaker who's going to try to use his speed to generate scoring chances.
Well, it looks like it will be 4-on-4 for 2 minutes as both teams send out a pair of forwards and a pair of defensemen. But that'll create some extra space, which I think is going to favor UNC. Even though ECU has plenty of speed, I think a lack of space for the Tar Heels has made things difficult. They'll control off the faceoff. It's Richard going cross ice, looking for Reese, but instead overshoots him, and the Pirates will win the race down and earn an icing call, as it'll come all the way back down to the UNC end. 9:14 to go in the second period, and just 10 seconds off the penalties to Beeson and to DePerna.
You know, when you're coaching a 4-on-4, you have sort of two philosophies. Put your best puck handlers out with the speed and let them go to work individually, or put your best pair that works together passing-wise with your forwards.
UNC again controls off the draw. It'll be sent deep by Oliveira. Reese giving chase. He's going to negate the icing call. And the Tar Heels can set up in the offensive zone. Far boards, it's Kramer. Sidesteps one defender. Looking to get out in front. Forces the puck across the crease, but nobody there to put it on goal. And the Pirates will carry it on out. Sent off the glass and into the near corner. It'll be tracked down by ECU's Devin Mizell. Working hard behind the net. Has it knocked away by Oliveira, who gets it back from Richard. Plenty of space to move forward. Thrown off the boards. Chasing it, Ben Reese. Can't get to it, but he will deflect the clearance down into the ECU end and back behind the net. That's where the Pirates take back over. Send up the far boards. Pinching Reese saves the zone, but can't possess. East Carolina moving through neutral ice. Around a couple of defenders now. Carrying it in, Schaefer wrists one on goal, easily handled by Douthit, and he'll close the glove on it for a face-off.
So 48 seconds left here in the 4-on-4. It'll be interesting to see which players both coaches put out. So, you know, we're seeing Kelman and Hess, who have had good chemistry today for ECU, come out. This is a pretty potent offensive pair, and we'll see how UNC matches up with that.
And they'll match up with Regan and Carlson. Draw one backwards, Tar Heels in control. Jones will deflect it up the near boards to the middle of the ice. Regan, he'll get it deep as he gains the red line. Going after it, Daniel Jones, back behind the net. Sends it in front, nobody there. Then the clearance, though, stays in the zone. Kept in momentarily by Carlson, whose shot is blocked, and a 2-on-1 if they move quickly. Kelman looking to the middle, throws it off the skate of a defender in front, and it'll be collected by Carlson. UNC moving back forward. 20 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey. Carlson cuts across to the near side, throws it off the glove of Emmett, and it deflects behind the net, where they'll fight for it. Still pinned up against the boards. Carlson gets a touch to it, out to the high slot. One-timer from Jones is held onto by Graham Emmett, and it will stay 2-1 ECU with 3 seconds left on the 4-on-4 situation.
So we saw Hellman and Hess come through the zone there with a 2-on-1 opportunity. I couldn't recall who it was for UNC, but did a nice job of getting in the passing lane, and the puck ended up going off of the player's skate to prevent that scoring opportunity for ECU.
Well, a chance here potentially to spring the man out of the box for ECU, but the Tar Heels control off the faceoff. Wrist shot blockered away from the center of the point off the stick of Whelan. UNC looking to stay in control. Off the near board, slapped towards the net by Whelan, but deflected into the corner. Thrown out off the side of the net, looking for a man in front. It gets to Oliveira. He'll tee one up. It's stopped in front by Graham Emmett, and he'll jump on the rebound. And a great chance again for the Tar Heels, but they just can't get it past Emmett.
No, I've been very impressed with Emmett tonight. You saw the first shot, he was able to direct into the far corner. The second shot came out in front of him, but he promptly smothered it, got on top of it.
Oliveira, chance there, deflected wide. Far corner, it'll be controlled by the Tar Heels. One-timer from the far point, doesn't get to the net off the stick of Oliveira. Beeson sends it in front, and it's intercepted. A stumbling Pirate will force it out of the zone, and ECU, I think, rightfully is upset with this call because it looked like whoever that Pirate was, I think it was Alex Fisher, or pardon me, not 7-17, Devin Mizell. He pushed it with his hand, but then got it with his stick before his teammate touched it.
Well, you're in your own zone, you're allowed to hand pass. So he was rightfully upset. Even if he plays it with his hand and passes a teammate, it's completely fine. I think it's probably a bad call by the refs. I saw one of the refs patting himself on the chest, which usually means that he made a mistake, but we'll have to play on.
And even the official's not going to be perfect, but we'll play on. Face-off drawn to the far boards where it'll be lifted up and out by the ECU defense. It's sent right back in by the Tar Heels. Near corner, it'll be sent up the boards, controlled by Kelman. Nowhere to go, he'll force it back behind his own net. Now a chance with space to move forward for ECU. Lifted deep, winning the race to it will be Justin Hess, and he has been very, very dangerous in this contest. Back out in neutral ice, ECU again in control, Andrew Karoloff. Left for Hess, looking for a lane into the zone. He'll get it deep, but the Tar Heels there to stop it up and clear it back out.
Daniel Jones did a nice job using the boards as an additional defender and really taking Hess off the puck. Hess got a little frustrated, got his hands up into his face. And we'll see Hess frustrated again there, I think, getting a little bit with Kramer.
Yeah, there was some pushing and shoving at the blue line, and as the puck went by, it turned into an icing. So the Tar Heels will get an offensive zone faceoff here. 5:55 left in the second period, and a 2-1 lead for ECU. It'll be Regan up against Hess on this near circle faceoff. One to the boards by Hess, wrapped back around behind the ECU cage, where the Pirates look to begin a breakout. Smothered out, though, by a UNC's forecheck. And that's one thing that hasn't been quite as good this period. The Tar Heels have not been able to set up that effective forecheck that created a lot of good chances in the first period. And things have started to tilt ECU's way. No goals this period yet, though. Now a chance, though, for ECU. Walking in the slot, backhand shot blocked, sent back out in front. Loose, Karoloff dropped to the point. Here's the slapper, deflected wide. Not a bad chance there from Caleb Downs. Still, they'll battle for it. Downs pitchforks it behind the net. Forced back up the boards on the near point. It'll be held by Ben Dam. Behind the net, shouldering off a hit is Caleb Downs. Again, Dam at the point. Can't get it towards the net. Oliveira will collect for UNC and send it off the boards and out, but we do have a whistle. And I believe we're going to get a penalty here against ECU on another chance, as we'll actually see a penalty on both sides. And I think these officials trying to get the game under control. Caleb Downs and
Regan and Downs were going at it pretty hard here against the boards. You saw that whole shift of play becoming more and more physical, and I think that probably accounts a little bit for maybe the lack of puck control we're seeing from UNC. A big physical team can wear you down some, and then maybe you're just a little bit more tense when you're making those passes, expecting to hit, whereas you might play looser against a more run and gun type team.
It'll be DiGiovanni Antonio up against UNC's Jesse Jacobs on this neutral zone faceoff. DiGiovanni Antonio wins it, stumbles to the ice, but gets it into the UNC zone. Jones there for the Tar Heels. Up the far wing, he's got Beeson. He'll wrist one towards the net, snagged. I don't think it was on net, but snagged out of the air by the netminder Graham Emmett. And we'll have another faceoff to his right in the far circle. Once again, 4-on-4 hockey here with matching penalties to Regan and Downs. Puck thrown on net, loose in the slot, but nobody there for UNC, and a stumbling Pirate can't clear the zone. Daniel Jones working into the corner, forcing his way in front, denied, but he'll hold on to the puck, wrapping behind the net. Out to the high slot, top of the near circle, wrist shot on goal, and it'll be swallowed up off the stick of Beeson. And Emmett holds on. Well,
another textbook save by Emmett there.
And he's played his angle as well. UNC has not gotten many chances in the slot area, and so he's really just had to face shots from the outside, and he's done a good job with them.
No, it's been a real testament to the ECU defenders. If you're playing a good defensive game, then you're pushing most of the shots to the outside, and it makes your goalie's life a lot easier because he can play the angles. It's much more of a geometry type game.
Near circle face-off in the offensive zone for the Tar Heels. It'll be controlled off the draw by ECU. Out to the middle of the ice, Pirates still in control. Kelman has it poked away by Richard, right to the stick of Kramer. He's got a man breaking Adamson, but the pass is too long, and it'll be sticked into the far corner by Emmett. Pass dropped back up the half wall. UNC couldn't control, and it's knocked into neutral ice where Kramer can lift it deep.
That was good because Hess had a full head of steam, and if Kramer doesn't get that puck, it's probably a breakaway coming the other way.
Collision behind the net will play on. Pirates in control. Angling to the middle of the ice is Kelman. Given plenty of space into the zone. Cross ice, far point, and it'll be poked away, and a late hit. This is going to be a penalty on UNC coming up. Backhanded behind the net, nobody there for the Pirates, and so UNC will touch up. And it'll be a 4-on-3 for 40 seconds for ECU. Adamson will be called for the penalty, and it was a little bit late. It wasn't a hard hit, but when the game has started to get out of hand a bit, it's not a surprise to see the officials make that call.
Yeah, I think you're seeing the officials, they want to keep control of the game. They don't want it to get out of control, which it easily can when you have two college teams that are playing a very physical game. Things can get out of control very quick.
So it will be 4-on-3 for 40 seconds before returning to 5-on-4. So it will be a full 2-minute man advantage, barring any other penalties here.
The other thing that you have to be aware of as a player is we have a full complement of refs here today, so we have 4. You don't always get that in a college game, so you're more likely to be seen if you do something that infracts on the rules.
Walking in, the shot deflected high as Hudson Schaefer had a great chance, denied by Kramer. And it'll be another face-off in the UNC zone. But Kramer, Richard, Oliveira out there for UNC. On the ECU side, Ian McClin on the ice along with Andrew Karloff as the forwards. The defenseman, Chris DePerno, along with number 28, Thomas Bruning. And UNC will clear it down off the face-off to waste some time. 3:22 left in the second period. This is a must-kill for UNC, the way that the scoring has been so sparse. We haven't seen any scoring here in this second period.
No, we really haven't seen that many opportunities. There's been a lot of shots, but a lot have not hit the net. As far as more consistent shooting, it's definitely been UNC leading the shots this period 12-3.
A chance here for the Pirates as the 2 penalties expire to Regan and Downs. We're 5-on-4 for the next minute and 10 seconds. Under 3 minutes left in the period. Regan with it in the near corner for the Tar Heels, looking to waste some time as he pins the puck behind the ECU cage. It'll eventually be poked loose where the Pirates take control. Plenty of space down the far wing, and the Pirates are going to take it with speed. Dumped deep and behind the ECU or the UNC net by Bruning, and that's where the Pirates will set up the power play. Nice hit from Regan to knock the puck loose, but the Tar Heels can't get it out at the point. Deflected by Regan, and he at least gets it out into neutral ice. Just about had a breakaway shorthanded. 30 seconds left on the man advantage. ECU breaking back into the zone. This time it's Hudson Schaefer. He'll be stalled out in the far corner. Leaves it there for a teammate in McClin. Drop back for the point, swatted out by Regan. Doesn't have the energy to get to that loose puck, but he will get off for a change. 15 seconds left on the man advantage for the ECU Pirates.
Good job by Regan sliding that puck deep and allowing for a change for the penalty kill.
Last chance on the man advantage for ECU with speed through the neutral zone. Hess knocked off the puck. It'll be sent deep where Douthit can control, and we're back to full strength. 1:35 left in the second period. It was 2-1 after 20 minutes. It's still 2-1 here at the Orange County Sportsplex. On the attack, the Tar Heels. Down into the near corner, Adamson drops it off for Beeson. Looking around. Back behind the net, he finds Adamson. Out in front, it hits the stick of Emmett, and ECU breaks it out. They've got a chance to move quickly through the neutral zone. Wrist shot disrupted by Jacobs, and it misses wide for ECU. But the Pirates in control in neutral ice again. It'll be lifted deep. Cattywampus to the near corner. Settled down by the Tar Heels. Forced up the boards. Hard hit. Taken by a Tar Heel, but they do get it out. Sent right back to the UNC blue line, and they'll play ping pong through neutral ice. This puck ends up all the way behind the ECU net. Icing waved off, and play will continue in the near corner. Pressure put on by Jacobs. Sent off the boards by Chris DiPerno, and it will get out, but sent right back in by Preby. On the puck for the Tar Heels, Ben Reese. Can't control as there were two Pirate defenders there. And they'll bank it to the far side. Pile up as they fight for the puck on the boards. Preby working his way down. He'll take a couple of Pirates with him. Chance out in front, and a pad save made by Emmett. Still loose behind the net. It's picked up by Preby. Looking to get it out in front, and jumping on the rebound was Graham Emmett to melt that one down with just 5 seconds left in the period. And that was probably the best chance we've seen here in this 20-minute frame.
Yeah, there really hasn't been much in the way of quality scoring chances. UNC's been getting a lot of shots that have made it to the net, but as we talked about before, they're coming from angles where Emmett is able to see them well and is either able to direct them away into the corners or just smother them.
Beeson to take the faceoff for UNC. Wins it to the boards. Wrist shot from Richard is deflected wide and behind the net, and that's where ECU will waste out the final seconds here in the second period. And a 2-1 first period score stays 2-1 after 40 minutes. Just 20 left for the Tar Heels to even it up. We'll be back here at the Orange County Sportsplex. Your score after 2 is ECU 2, UNC 1.
From the reserves of Topo Organic Distillery in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, comes 8 Oak Whiskey, aged with the heads already removed on 8 different chars of American and French oak. Topo's 8 Oak Whiskey, in limited reserves at all ABC stores.
I'm Mason Regan. I'm a junior on the team this year. Check out our new website, unchockey.com. We have our team schedule, roster. We have a team store set up too, and we're a 501c company, so all donations are tax deductible. Come out and see us play sometime.
Our Hill Newsbeat reports on the local stories in our town. Everything from sushi and BLTs to the makers and volunteers who are investing in making our town a better place to live. You'll find Tar Heel Newsbeat in the streaming channels section of your Roku.
News and weather for the untethered.
Chris Lehman, John Johnson back with you at the Orange County Sportsplex. 2-1 still after 40 minutes here between the UNC Tar Heels and the ECU Pirates. And John, we talked about it in that second period. One thing that seemed noticeable is UNC kind of getting worn down by the physicality of this ECU team.
Yeah, we talked at the very outset of the game about how one of ECU's big strengths is going to be their physicality. And we see that gradually wearing UNC down in the second period. And what you see it is in how the penalties have worked out. So we had 7 minutes of power play. We had a regular penalty, then we had a 5-minute major. So 7 minutes of power play time to start the period. But then, you know, as you start to get maybe a little frustrated by the physical nature of the play, we saw 2 matching penalties, and then we saw UNC take a penalty. And so ECU has used its physicality to really limit the quality of the scoring chances for UNC. So UNC's shot total has been close to the same as the first period, 15 shots compared to 20 in the first period. However, we really haven't seen the same level of quality scoring opportunities, and certainly not the same level of traffic in front of the net.
You talked a bit about the power plays there. That has been really the big story for UNC because they've had so much power play time. And at the pace, you assume they're going to get at least 1 or 2 chances on the man advantage. What adjustments do you need? I mean, you talk a little bit about getting traffic in front, but they need to get some better angles on their shots as well.
Yeah, so when you've gone that long on the power play and not scored, the first thing you have to realize is Emmett is hot. So you're not going to score from the low probability angle shots closer towards the boards. So you're going to need to get more shots towards the center of the ice, which a 1-3-1 will allow you to do. Capitalize on that defenseman who's running the high point. You need to get consistent traffic in front of Emmett. He's not big, so you want to take away his sight lines so that you're making it more difficult for him to see the puck and potentially cough up more rebounds in the center part, the slot part of the ice.
All right, well, we have just 20 minutes left in this one. One more question as we wrap it up and get set for the third period, but spacing has been an issue as well. We talked about not as much space on the ice with a big ECU team. How do you, as kind of a depleted UNC team at this point being worn down, how do you create that space?
Well, I think you have to go back to your fundamentals, which is working on crisper passes. We're seeing UNC rush its passes a little bit in the sense that they're making a pass which not without really getting their heads up and identifying who the recipient is, and if you're receiving the pass, present a better target. So it really goes back to Hockey 101. Presenting a better target if you're receiving the pass, getting your head up, making a crisper pass. You use your skill to beat a physical team in that situation, and that may mean occasionally you're going to take a hit as you make that pass, but you have more time than you think. And what a physical team starts to do is make you think you have less time than you actually have on the ice. So realizing you have more time, crisper passes, presenting good targets. I think that's the key for neutralizing a physical team.
Well, the Tar Heels have been on the cusp of that tying goal a couple of times. They'll get more chances in the third when we come back. ECU 2, UNC 1 after 40 minutes. 20 minutes left in this one. Chris Lehman alongside John Johnson at the Orange County Sportsplex. The ECU Pirates leading your UNC Tar Heels 2-1. No goals in that second period. We talked about it, John, just they seemed a little bit disorganized, did the Tar Heels. They couldn't get things rolling on the power play. A lot of that had to do with how ECU was defending them, but it's do or die here in this third period.
Yeah, the ECU penalty kill was exceptionally good at the beginning of the period. You'd hate to see a bad hit sort of change the tempo of the game, but I do think that hit on Regan maybe got UNC a little bit off their game. You start focusing a little more on the fact that it's more physical. Maybe you're thinking about retaliating a little bit, and you just get a little bit off of maybe the more skill aspects of your game, such as crisp passing. So hopefully coach has them calm down. They come out and they get back to what they do best, which is crisp passing and taking advantage of power play opportunities when they come up.
And we talked about it. They really have dominated the shot category. I believe it's 35-10 after two periods, so it's about finishing as well.
It is, and I think we're noticing the fact that their two top finishers aren't here tonight, and so that's another thing they just have to overcome. Find somebody who wants to step up and get that tying goal.
Well, we're back underway here at the Orange County Sportsplex. Tar Heels control off the opening draw. Knocked down was Preby, and the puck will be skittered down behind the Tar Heel net. Douthit will help it along to the near corner, collected by Daniel Jones. He'll lift it up and out in neutral ice, corralled by Chris DePerno, swatted off the boards, and sent back behind the UNC cage once again. It'll be collected this time by Richard. Forces his way out in front of his own net, lost the puck, but fortunately for the Tar Heels, it wasn't put on goal. In the near corner, they'll battle. Pinned up along the boards. There are a couple of Tar Heels and a couple of Pirates in there. Puck squirts loose, thrown to the slot. Nobody there on either side to get a piece of it. And it's kept in by the Pirates. Preby roughed up a bit on the scrum along the boards. They can't find the puck. There it is, thrown out towards the front, but again denied. And it is knocked out into neutral ice. The Tar Heels get a quick change, and it'll be DiGiovan Antonio moving it back forward. He finds an open teammate in Hudson Schaefer on the near wing. Hard wrist shot ends up wide all the way around the boards. Ben Kelman comes up with it. Drop back again for Schaefer, and he'll shovel it deep. Behind the Tar Heel net, it's swept. Oliveira in the far corner. Up the boards. He'll get back to it. And it was held nicely for a moment by ECU, but a chance to move forward for the Tar Heels. Breaking in, pass to the middle, and it'll be stopped by Emmett. Tied up on that play was Josh Carlson.
Carlson did a nice job charging the center part of the ice, put the defenseman in a position where he has to protect against a 2-on-1. Pass came over, and he got two opportunities, in fact, a follow-up chance. Neither one could go in.
And some credit there, too, to Andrew Kurloff, who made the defensive play to stop up that UNC opportunity. Pirates get it out into the neutral zone, backtracking Richard with it for the Tar Heels. He'll pivot, looking for a teammate in Oliveira, couldn't find him. ECU in control, thrown towards the net, deflected in the slot, and cleared up and out. They'll race to it on the near side. Icing will be waved off. It is Hudson Schaefer winning the race to it. He'll work his way up the far board, stalling it out. Jesse Jacobs on the blue line, but it'll be cleared deep. This should be an icing call, and it will be on ECU. And they're going to police the bench to make sure that the same players who were on when the puck was iced stay on for ECU. 17:41 to go in the third. It'll be Jacobs to take the draw against Hess. And the Pirates' Hess wins it to the boards, but the secondary battle won by Beeson. He found Adamson in front, but they couldn't connect. Puck cleared out by the Pirates, handled nicely by Jones to the near boards. Banked up and picked up by the Tar Heels. Jacobs to Adamson, shot blocked. He's got another chance, blocked again by Emmett. Still loose in the slot, and it'll be cleared back to the point. Kept in by Wheeland. He'll step to it on the far point. Send around the boards. Stopped behind the net by Beeson. He'll look out in front on the backhand of Adamson, who couldn't control, and the Pirates a chance to move out. Karoloff moving forward. Swatted at by Beeson. That knocks the puck loose. It's Jacobs again for UNC. He'll bank it off the boards and deep. Back behind the net. It's collected by Ben Dam. His pass out, stolen at the point. Wrist shot fanned on by the Tar Heel Wheeland, but UNC keeps pressure on. Near corner, Adamson looking for a teammate. Lifted out in front, he couldn't find Reese. Back to Adamson, bouncing puck, can't be controlled. Eventually Richard will lift it back in. And the Tar Heels hold on the near point. Slapped around the boards.
We had a good sequence of play there in front of Emmett. He really came up huge. The ECU defenseman was down on his stomach. Emmett set across, stopped a really high-quality scoring chance.
And a cover-up for Douthit, who comes out of his net to control that rebound.
We've also seen a couple nice passes to the slot, and the only reason they haven't been converted to scoring chances is because they've both come in on the forward's backhand. And the forward, instead of sort of pivoting and opening up in his body to maybe change the angle which he receives the pass, had to play it on his backhand and wasn't able to pull it to his forehand to get a shot off.
And it looks like DiGiovan Antonio will be kicked from this faceoff, replaced by McClin, who wins the faceoff anyhow. Slapper from the near point, I should say, deflected wide, heavy hit, knocks the puck loose, and that was a good one from the Pirates' number 17, Devin Mizell. ECU still in possession, held on the near point and sent back deep by Ben Dam. They'll fight for it in that near corner. Tar Heels come away with a loose puck, banked off the glass but not out, held on the blue line by DiGiovan Antonio. He'll get it deep. In the near corner again, the Pirates possess. Sent back up the boards, looking for an open teammate in Dam, but they couldn't possess. ECU, though, has a stellar forecheck so far on this sequence, and the Tar Heels cannot get it out. Saved on the point once again. Richard now with it for the Tar Heels. He's got some space, and finally, UNC breaks it out. The captain, Oliveira, sweeps it deep. He'll fight for it with Dam. Forced behind the net, Priebe. Sidesteps a hit, but loses the puck. Stepping up on the far point was Jones. Kept it momentarily, but eventually it's out. Near side again, Jones. He'll send it deep. Behind the net, stopped up by Emmett. Up the near boards, Jones holds it at the near point. Sent towards the net, patted away by Emmett. Through traffic, he did a nice job of seeing that puck.
He did. There was some traffic in front of the net. Possible deflection came in, but he did a nice job and kicked it back out to the side.
Just over 5 minutes gone in this third period. It's been 2-1 for a while now. Tar Heels breaking in. Sent to the ice was Thomas. And UNC still in possession. Swatted towards the net, and it looked like Thomas got a piece of it, but not enough. On the far boards, lifted out by Ben Kelman into neutral ice. Backpedaling with it as Daniel Jones. Up the near boards, it hops a stick, and ECU takes back over. Thomas Brunning takes a hit to send it out. On the near boards, Kelman leaves it, and another big hit by Carlson. That will leave a Pirate on the ice and a penalty coming on UNC. And there's some extracurriculars over by the ECU bench as well. But the Pirate who was hit, that was Carter Casuccio. The Buffalo, New York native is back up and heading to the ECU bench. It does look like he's in a bit of pain, but Carlson will head to the box. And that was a bit of a high hit, and he'll get 2 minutes for it.
It's a high hit, and we see sort of this continuing over from the end of last period where, we've gone from a game where it was ECU playing the undisciplined play to a game that now we're seeing UNC start to move into an undisciplined style of play.
That's one of those penalties that doesn't need to be taken. A mental error from Jeff Volkman's team, and they've got to kill this one off. Because I think a 2-goal lead would become very tough with the way that the ECU defense has locked things down in the way that Graham Emmett has played in net. And the Pirates control off the draw. They'll set up the power play. Far side of the ice, it's Schaefer. Look to the middle, nobody there, and it'll trickle into the near corner. Wrapped back around the boards, where it'll be taken on the half wall by the Pirates. Hess lifted out and kicked along. A chance here for UNC. A break if he gets to it, and a bad clearance. Beeson couldn't get a shot on goal. Sent back out in front. One-timer fanned on by Kramer. But a couple of good chances there, and pardon me, that was Reese with the opportunity after the blocked pass at the blue line. ECU dodges a bullet. They'll weave down the near boards. Lifted in by Kirilov and behind the net. Swatted back up the far side. UNC can't get it out, though. Fought for in the far corner. Deflects off his skate into the middle of the ice. Big hit, and we're going to get another penalty coming up on UNC. That one looked like a pretty solid hit, but the big ones are going to get called right now. Up top, Kirilov patted away by Douthit and into the near corner. Again, the Pirates control. Working around up front, Kirilov. Sent to the middle, one-timer, and it's in. Finished by Ben Kelman, and it's 3-1 ECU.
So I think what we saw there to start the sequence was a delayed penalty call. I don't see who exactly it was called on, but what made it a penalty was the ECU Pirate did not have possession of the puck. He was coming over to play the puck. So, you know, it's a bang-bang play, another half second, and it's a great check. But because he hadn't gained possession of the puck, it's a delayed penalty call, and they capitalize on that.
And it looks like Mason Regan is the one in the box for UNC at this point, and it'll be another power play for ECU. So 13:03 to go in the third period. A power play goal for the Pirates has doubled their lead. That is now 3-1. Center ice face-off won by UNC. They'll control at their own blue line. Pitchforked out by Daniel Jones all the way in on net, where Emmett will control. Left for Cromenhoek to the far board. Sent back to the middle for Carter Casuccio. He'll backhand it up the near wall. But it's the Tar Heels who get to it first, and on the break they come. Here's a shot, gloved and in! Beeson with his second of the game, and the Tar Heels back in it with that shorthanded tally. And a bit of a soft spot there for Graham Emmett. He had looked solid all night, and that one just snuck by.
He did. You know, we talked about the fact that Emmett hasn't swallowed pucks exceptionally well, but he's done a nice job of rebound control. And that one just, you know, he wasn't able to get his glove clearly on it, and it just rolled over top and snuck on in. A really critical goal at this juncture in the game when you're trying to kill a penalty and you're already down by 2.
So a big, big goal for UNC. They still have a minute and a half to kill off of this penalty, but they are back within 1. Justin Hess gliding up ice. He'll gain speed to the neutral zone. Weaves through everybody. He's in alone, and he's denied. Great job by Douthit to stay with the puck. That was a dangerous chance for Justin Hess, and ECU still on the forecheck. They'll fight for it in the near corner. Worked up the half wall, pinching in. It's kept there by Schaefer. And back to Schaefer again on the near point. Throws one along the ice, taken off the wall by Hess. Spun in front, nobody there. Tar Heels win the race to it, and this one will be cleared all the way down the ice with just 50 seconds left on the man advantage for ECU.
We saw Hess use his speed and basically go through the entire UNC team there. He's got phenomenal hands. We saw that in the warm-ups. Just wasn't able to finish.
The acceleration there was incredible. I don't think the UNC penalty killers were ready for that kind of acceleration. Oliveira lifts one down the ice one more time. Under 30 ticks left on the 2-minute sentence to Mason Regan. Holding, Dijon Antonio goes cross ice, looking for Kelman. And ECU forks it back in. They've done a good job of stymieing the momentum that ECU built up coming into this power play. And they've effectively killed it all off. Just 5 seconds left. DiGiovan Antonio leaves it for Schaefer. Hudson Schaefer with space to move forward. He'll take it out of the ECU zone. Gaining speed down the near wing. Loses it to the center of the ice. Cleared back out. And it's in the skates of Jesse Jacobs. He had a chance to move on the odd man rush. But the Tar Heels do force it into the ECU end. Schaefer again in front of his own net. Circling to the near side, 10:40 to go. It is a 3-2 hockey game. We were scoreless in the second period, both teams with a tally here in the third. Coming out of his net, Douthit will clear this one up the ice. The penalty is over, so we're back to even strength. Moving forward on transition, the Tar Heels shot goes wide off the glass. And a chance going by the wayside, but they're still in control. Daniel Jones, bodied up in the far corner. Helping him out, Jesse Jacobs. Back for Jones, sent to the middle, loose in front, and it squirts right in on the goaltender, Emmett. And he will cover it up for a face-off. That was a much-needed stoppage for ECU. The Tar Heels have been all over the Pirates since that shorthanded goal.
So Carlson had a fine opportunity there. He tapped the puck ahead. He got speed. He came into the zone. You just would have liked to see him get the shot a little bit lower and potentially kick that puck out to where Jones was coming in on the far side. Instead, it goes wide and high. But still, good tempo for UNC. Ever since really, great penalty kill kicked that off with the shorthanded goal.
Mason Regan to take the faceoff for the Tar Heels up against Justin Hess of the Pirates. Regan wins it. The shot from the far point blocked, but well done by Whelan to keep the zone as he sends it in.
High-skill play.
On the near side wall, it's Kramer. Slapped deep by Regan. But it'll be the Pirates controlling. Held nicely again by Whelan on that far point. He's held strong on that blue line. Can't keep it in this time, but Kramer has him backed up. He'll send it deep. Pushed right back out by DePerno. And he'll be forced to retreat by this UNC forecheck, which seems to be coming back into form. Picking off the pass in neutral ice is Whelan. He's had a heck of a shift here. Ben Reese with speed. Cuts to the middle. And he'll lose it at the blue line. Poked back out. Whelan there to send it in once again. 9:20 left in the third period. On the far wall, in the skates of Kelman. He'll trip up Reese, but will play on. Bouncing puck in front, controlled and cleared by Bruning. Up the near wall, he has a teammate in Karoloff. Space in the middle, looking for a teammate on the near side. Nobody there, and Oliveira will advance it along. But he'll have to come back out as he stalled out at the blue line. Now Kramer, stumbling Tar Heel in Prevey, pardon me, is able to get it deep, wrapped right back out by the ECU defense. Near side, Tar Heels in control, advanced in. Jacobs takes a hit as he risked that one on goal, sticked away by Emmett. Behind the net, UNC still in possession. In the corner, Jacobs back to the point near side. Looking it over for the Tar Heels. Jones steps around the stick check, but loses possession. DiGiovan Antonio clears it out. He has an outlet on the far side, and Devin Mizell. He'll be stopped up at the Tar Heel blue line as the UNC defense holds strong. Pass to the middle of the ice, picked off by Mizell again. He'll get it deep this time. Jones collects in the far corner for UNC's defense. Sent all the way around the boards, but not out. ECU trying to add that insurance back up on the scoreboard. But a loose puck collected. Up the ice they come, but nowhere to go for Beeson as he's stopped up at the ECU blue line.
Excellent back check by ECU there, really taking away his space.
7:50 left in the third period. Neutral ice, loose puck. Tar Heels take it. Taking a hit, Carlson gets it deep. Behind the net, controlled by ECU's Seth Bunch. Forced up the near wall, nothing there. He'll go cross ice for an open teammate in Ben Dam. Dam gets it out. He's got Mizell moving through neutral ice. Cuts to the middle, leaves it on the far wing for Casuccio. Casuccio sends it behind the net, but there are plenty of Tar Heels there to take back over and get this one out into the neutral zone. On his knees, Jackson Thomas working hard. Puck squirts to the middle, taken away from Jones. Here comes Karoloff into the far circle. Back checked hard by Richard, and it's sent to the middle. They score. Another turnover for the Tar Heels ends up in the back of their net, and it's 4-2 with just over 7 minutes to play.
Yeah, we saw again a turnover at the blue line, results in a quality scoring opportunity for ECU, which they capitalize on with their speed.
And that one hurts. UNC had been controlling a lot of the play sends cutting the lead back to 1.
It's a shame, too, because in the 2 minutes before that, we were starting to see UNC get back to a crisper passing game where they were getting their head up, making passes through the zone, and really getting some quality chances.
So we're back at center ice for the faceoff. 7:05 left in the game. That goal gives ECU back their 2 tally advantage. Battle for it at center ice. Puck squirts to the near boards where it'll be swiped in by Oliveira. Icing waved off, and so UNC can set up the forecheck. Far corner, Reese gets it from Kramer. He'll work along the wall, loses possession, and it's lifted out by Kelman. Moving with speed is Kirilov. He'll beat the Tar Heels to the puck and beat out the icing call. Sends it in front. Loose puck out in the high slot, picked up by Schaefer. And a deflected shot, looks like ends up out of play. Or pardon me, it ends up in the glove of Douthit. A lot of traffic there, though. Not a bad chance to put one on goal for the Pirates.
No, the Pirates are going to try to build off of this. And, a 2-goal lead, you start mentally just playing just a little bit looser, more confident than when you just have that 1-goal lead.
ECU wins the faceoff, controlled along the far wall. Taken away by the Tar Heels. Loose puck gets free to the middle of the ice where ECU can take it back. And they're really, I think, going to try and stretch the ice here and run some clock as they have, again, a 2-goal advantage. And a hand pass whistled in the middle of the ice. That'll stop play momentarily with 6:10 to go.
So now's an opportunity for somebody on that UNC team to step up. I mean, we've seen Beeson tonight generate some goals with his speed, but we need to see somebody else here put one home, get them back within 1, make this a much more tactically challenging game if we can get within 1.
Jacobs to face off for UNC up against the ECU captain, Nick DiGiovanantonio, and now I believe we'll get a timeout on the ECU bench. So the two teams going to step away for a moment and talk things over. Some work to do for the Tar Heels. They trail ECU 4-2. We'll be back here at Orange County Sportsplex. Offensive zone faceoff here for the Tar Heels. 6:10 left in the third period. Chris Lehman alongside John Johnson at the Orange County Sportsplex. And John, plenty of chances. They just haven't been able to finish.
An interesting timeout by ECU also. Maybe just you weren't maybe expecting to be in this position. Outshot 43-15, but you're ahead by 2 goals. Really trying to strategize on just how to keep that lead against UNC.
All it takes is a couple of bounces for the Tar Heels. Jones holds strong on the near point. Wrist shot on by Beeson, looking for the hat trick. Sends it back out in front again, and Graham Emmett will get on top of it for another faceoff. Well, he has been a big reason that ECU has the lead. Now, a lot of the shots he's faced, as we talked about, haven't come from the greatest of angles, but he's been able to jump on rebounds like that, and you've talked about his rebound control as well.
His rebound control as far as angling pucks into the corners has been exceptional.
Under 6 to go as the faceoff controlled by ECU. Along the far boards, it'll be lifted out, but not past the red line. Jones again for the Tar Heels. Finds a man in the middle of the ice. It's Jacobs. Weaves down the near side. Leaves it for a teammate, Beeson, who wasn't there. Cleared back up to the point. Jones, head up, looked to the net. Couldn't get it on frame. And it'll be back out to the point. Hits a body in front, loose there. And again, the Pirates clean up the rebound. On the far boards, collected by Ian McClin, who has been a big part of the penalty kill for ECU. He finds a man in neutral ice, and out of control was a Tar Heel who went into the UNC net. And that appears to be Richard, who will get up a little slowly, but it looks like he's okay.
Yeah, I think Mizell tried to come through the center of the ice, go forehand, backhand, and pull a move on the UNC defenseman. He got bodied off, but Richard lost his edge and went into the pipe and took that net off the mooring.
And that can be painful. There's not a lot of protection for your ribs as a hockey player.
That is absolutely true. You have a very thin set of pads on your ribs, and that's it.
5:16 left on the clock, and looks like a quick wardrobe adjustment for a Tar Heel. I can't see the number over on that far side. It looks to be Richard, who will have to come off the ice now to fix a strap on his helmet, and Oliveira will take his place.
That must have popped loose when he went into the net.
But he'll head to the bench quickly. Face-off taken and won by Beeson of Carolina. Wrapped around the far boards and forced out of the zone at the blue line. A chance brewing for the Tar Heels, but they can't break it in as Regan's dispossessed at the blue line. Near sidewall, it's taken by Schaefer. He's got space to move forward, gains the red line, gets it deep. Douthit will stop it behind the UNC cage, where Oliveira sweeps it up the near boards, held by Schaefer. Thrown on goal, stopped by Douthit, and a hit coming a little bit late. UNC did not like that swat of the pads of Douthit by Ben Kelman after he had covered that puck up.
So you saw a rush there. I think it was Regan coming in. He tried to go forehand, backhand. He should have really gone wide there. Instead, he tried to step to the middle of the ice, and the defenseman using the blue line was able to dispossess him of the puck.
And that's been the biggest issue. When UNC gets into the zone, the forecheck can work. They get their opportunities, but just breaking into the zone has been a big issue for the Tar Heels here against ECU tonight. They'll move it out and have another chance to do so here. Oliveira through neutral ice. Into the zone, he'll button hook. Far boards, throws it towards the net, looking for a tip, didn't get it. And it'll be collected on the near wall by Kirilov. Forced up the boards, he banks it out. Whelan controls for UNC. Sends it down the near wall, looking for Carlson, but a nice play made by Kirilov, who got a stick to it. And it's out of play for a faceoff.
Now you'll see the last couple of attempted entries into the zone. We haven't really seen that dump and chase style which sets up your forecheck. We've seen everybody kind of hesitating as the puck carrier tries to come across on his own, and that hasn't been really working too well.
And a chance to get it deep here. Swatted in by the Tar Heels off the faceoff. Can they get the forecheck set up here? It looks like ECU is going to be able to lift it out from the far wall. Swatted back by Oliveira, not very far as it's collected by Ben Dam with speed. He's tripped up. However, it does get deep to the far corner. UNC up the far wall. It gets out into neutral ice. Seth Bunch possessing for the Pirates. Cross ice to Dam. Up the far boards, it's picked off. Nobody there for UNC. A little bit of miscommunication there as Carlson thought Regan was going to continue down the wing, and instead ECU gets a chance to clear it out. Oliveira slams it off the wall, off the skates of Bunch. He'll go back across to the near side, taken on a bank by Dam, and he clears it up. UNC sends it right back, and it'll be an icing.
Yeah, I think we saw right there I call that a hope pass. You know, you tap the puck hoping that your teammate's going to be there. And we talked a little bit about this, you know, maybe getting your head up a little bit more, confirming that you have a recipient for that pass, and that's going to let you transition and get into the offensive zone a little better.
Well, time running thin on the Tar Heels. 3.5 minutes to go. They still trail by 2. And you've got to think that head coach Jeff Volkman, when he gets an opportunity, will be looking to pull Douthit and give the Tar Heels an extra skater. And that might be what he has called his timeout for now, because the Tar Heels will gather in front of their own bench, as will the Pirates, to talk things over. 4-2 with 3.5 to go here at the Orange County Sportsplex. 3:31 left on the third period clock. Chris Lehman with you alongside John Johnson as the Tar Heels trying to make a comeback in the waning minutes as they trail 4-2 to the ECU Pirates. And a big thing for the Tar Heels, they have just not been able to finish. Badly out shooting ECU throughout this game, including 11-6 here this period. But it's a 2-1 advantage on the scoreboard this period, 4-2 on the game for ECU. And the Pirates a chance to add one to it. Center point wristed towards goal, deflected away off the stick of Chris DePerno. And the Tar Heels get it up and out. They're going to chase this one down, but Reese can't beat out the icing call. And the Tar Heels will be sent right back down to their defensive end.
So Coach Volkman is going to start thinking about when he's going to pull his goalie. We were chatting during the timeout. You know, that trend has changed in hockey now. People tend to pull a little earlier than used to, maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago. So I'd expect the first time they get firm possession down here in the offensive zone that you're going to see the goalie come out.
And they may have to defend here. Nice job by Wheeland, wide open in front. As an ECU Pirate, he ties it up.
Wheeland made a fantastic play there. He's had a great game the whole night. He's made a lot of smart, simple defenseman plays, and he tied up an open man who had a clear, empty net.
This might be the opportunity to pull the goaltender. No icing. It'll actually be waved off as that puck trickles down in. Centering pass off the stick of Hessen wide for ECU, trying to put this game away. 2:39 to go. Douthit still in the Tar Heel net as he looks for UNC to set up a forecheck. In control now, Adamson. Down to the corner, Jones. Looking out in front, and the slot puck is loose. Out of position is Emmett, but he gets back to make the save. They'll fight for it on the far side of the net. Jones comes away with it. Up at the point, it's slapped back deep. And UNC comes up with it. Kramer in the near boards. He'll leave it in the corner. Adamson worked on. Sends it off the side of the net. One-timer catches somebody in front. Richard couldn't put it on goal. Another chance in front. Blocked in the slot. They'll send it towards the goal. Now out of the net is Douthit, so 6-on-5 as he gets to the bench, and a flurry of chances there.
Yeah,
but that's been the story of the game.
Story of the game, 3 good quality chances there, and the story of the game has been Emmett playing strong, seeing the puck well. And you'll notice defensemen really giving up the body and throwing themselves in the way of shots here too. You know, ECU, let's give credit to their defensive core, which has really done a nice job, you know, taking some of the good quality scoring chances away.
UNC controls off the face-off. Have the man up with the penalty, or with the empty net. Body down in front. Kramer tried to force it on goal, but Emmett stands strong. Kramer again on the sidewall, weaving out in front, loses control, collected at the blue line. It gets out of the zone, and Jones instinctively brings it back in offsides. Just a quick reaction there from Jones as he couldn't contain himself trying to keep it in the offensive zone, and that's a tough break for the Tar Heels.
That is a tough break, and we saw just earlier Kramer almost physically put the puck in off his chest. He came charging towards the net. It was a good opportunity.
Face-off one backwards by ECU. A bouncing puck ends up in the near corner, shoveled along by Bruning, around to his defensive partner DePerno, who will be pinned along the wall. Tar Heels take it over. High slot, move to the top of the circle near side. Kramer fans on the wrist shot. Loose in the middle of the ice, but sent to the near boards and swatted up. Kept in by the skate of Jones. UNC really cranking up the pressure. 1:15 to go. Cross ice taken off the boards by Richard. Back to the point. Wrist shot coming through traffic. Misses the net. They'll battle for it behind the cage. Collected in the near corner. Adamson looking for a lane. He's got a teammate up top and misses the target on the pass. He had a wide open Daniel Jones who could have teed one up. And now UNC regroups under a minute to play at the red line. It'll be forced back into the UNC's end. Richard in front of his own cage. Gives it for Jones, who circles behind the net. He'll move up the middle of the ice, looking for a teammate in Beeson, who collects it on the near boards. He'll bring it in. Wrist shot just wide of the far post, and UNC goes to work. 39 seconds to go as it's lifted back out. Kramer at his own blue line to the near boards. Regan will further it along. And losing an edge was a defenseman in Schaefer. That'll give the puck back to UNC. They've got to move quickly. Schaefer gets it back behind his own net. Shielding sends it off the glass, a bouncing puck. Trapped down soccer style by Kramer. Cuts to the high slot. Looking for a lane to the net. It's not there. Over to the boards with 13 seconds to go. Sent towards the net. Back to the top of the circle, far side. Wrister stop. Slapper is blocked in front. Another chance hits a body in front. Well, UNC just can't get it to the net. 2 seconds to go and 1, and the clock will run out. Plenty of chances there for UNC, but John, they just couldn't find the net.
They could not. There was a lot of traffic in front of the net, but also a good job by the ECU defense there, giving up the body and making that a lot more difficult, and actually helping out their goaltender, stopping a few shots with their body.
Certainly positives that can be taken away from this game if you're UNC, but the bottom line is they got the chances, and it was the ECU defense and goaltending that made the difference here this afternoon. We're going to step aside. We'll be back to break down this game and talk to players and coaches after the fact. The final score, ECU 4, UNC 2, here at the Orange County Sportsplex.
I'm Mason Regan. I'm a junior on the team this year. Check out our new website, unchockey.com. We have our team schedule, roster. We have a team store set up too, and we're a 501c company, so all donations are tax deductible. Come out and see us play sometime.
Tar Heel Newsbeat reports on the local stories in our town. Everything from sushi and BLTs to the makers and volunteers who are investing in making our town a better place to live. You'll find Tar Heel Newsbeat in the streaming channels section of your Roku.
News and weather for the untethered.
From the reserves of Topo Organic Distillery in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, comes 8 Oak Whiskey, aged with the heads already removed on 8 different chars of American and French oak. Topo's 8 Oak Whiskey, limited reserves at all ABC stores.
Welcome back to the Orange County Sportsplex. Chris Lehman alongside John Johnson after a 4-2 defeat at the hands of the ECU Pirates for your UNC Tar Heels. Despite the losing result, though, John, there were plenty of things that you can take away that UNC did well, and particularly we've hit on it plenty, but that forecheck, when they were able to get it going, was very effective.
Yeah, I think we saw it most effective in the first period. It set up a lot of scoring opportunities for them. They had 20 shots, and there were a fair number of high-quality shots in that period. You contrast that with the second period, where maybe their forecheck wasn't as established, and they got 15 shots in that period, but we really didn't see many scoring opportunities, and that was a scoreless period overall for the team.
You talk about plenty of opportunities. Finishing was another big storyline. A lot of chances around the net that just didn't find their way in.
Yeah, I think that's attributable to two things. One, we have to give credit to Emmett, the goalie for ECU. really played a fabulous game. Although his puck control in the sense of swallowing pucks and stopping play wasn't exceptional, what he did do well was redirect pucks into low probability scoring areas. He did that consistently through the night, and he made key stoppages when his team was under stress. On the other side, we knew it was going to be a tough game for UNC in the sense that their two top goal scorers, Joe Atley and Friedman, were not in the lineup tonight, and that was going to require somebody else to step up, and we just didn't see that. So while we got a lot of shots, total of about 50 for UNC, we really didn't get high quality scoring opportunities, and certainly none that were put away.
Well, it's certainly a good game to learn from going into a very big game for the Tar Heels. In case you haven't heard, they'll be at PNC Arena battling for the Governor's Cup with the NC State Ice Pack on Monday. What lessons do they need to take away in order to come away with a better result on Monday night?
So I think get back to what they were doing in the first period, a disciplined, physical style of play. So we saw that start to break down in the second, and they took some unnecessary penalties. More heads-up passing, seeing a target, not hopeful passing, but, making good quality passes with our head up and being a good recipient of a pass. So getting through the ice, and then you're going to need to see against a team like NC State with a lot of talent, good consistent back check from your forwards to take some of the pressure off of your defensemen. And if they can do that, it's going to be a good competitive game on Monday night.
All right, John, appreciate you hanging out with me today on the broadcast. We'll see you certainly a little bit later on in the season, but we're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back with assistant coach Ben Sizemore here at the Orange County Sportsplex. Welcome back to the Orange County Sportsplex. Chris Lehman now joined by assistant coach Ben Sizemore of the Tar Heels. And Ben, you heard John and I talk a little bit about it there. A lot of good things out of this game, and it really just came to not having that puck luck and getting the puck in the back of the net.
Yeah, we were peppering the goalie, just couldn't find a way past him. So that happens now and again. But we liked our net front presence, and we'll try and continue that on Monday.
And one thing I think is a good thing to learn from this ECU team, and that will be helpful moving forward, as we talked about it on the broadcast. They did a great job of taking advantage of mistakes and turnovers. What do you see out of your team that you need to see fixed as you go into a tough contest against NC State?
Yeah, we just got to make sure our puck management is on point, and that we're not throwing the puck up the middle blindly, and we're making sure pucks are getting deep. We're not turning the puck over at the blue line. And that's, if we can limit those mistakes, we'll be, and really it only happened a couple times and they were able to capitalize tonight. So if we can clean up that part of the game, we'll be in good shape.
Well, as we've alluded to, big game coming up on Monday for a couple of reasons. It's the Governor's Cup. It's at PNC Arena against a rival in NC State. Yeah. Talk about it from a player's perspective, because you've been in that situation on that ice.
It's a ton of fun. There's not a lot of opportunities where you get to play in front of that many fans, in front of the Governor. And from a UNC perspective, it's a lot of NC State fans, so it's a fun atmosphere to be a part of, and it definitely gives you a little bit of extra juice to, when you're a little bit tired the third period, you have that little bit of energy left. So it's an exciting experience as a player, so excited for those guys to be a part of it.
And one last question for you, Chris Lehman, alongside assistant coach Ben Sizemore. It is also your third game in 4 days, as you guys took down Duke 11-1 last night. Obviously not the same result here, but got to get up for a big game in a short period of time.
Right. We got a day off tomorrow. Guys will get some rest tonight, get some rest tomorrow. And like I said, it's one of those games where you don't need – it's a big enough atmosphere, a big enough event where they're going to have their legs. So we're expecting good things from our guys.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to an exciting contest. Again, puck drop will be 7 p.m. at PNC Arena as the UNC Tar Heels and the NC State Ice Pack battle it out for the Governor's Cup. That's all we've got for you from the Orange County Sportsplex today. Again, the final count, ECU 4, UNC 2.